I saw Longlegs last night, the new movie directed by Osgood Perkins, and I'm here to review it for you. Let's get into it. So Longlegs follows an FBI agent named Lee Harker. She's on the hunt for a serial killer named Longlegs who leaves cryptic messages behind at the scene of his crimes. Now, let me just say out of the gate, and this is for your own enjoyment of the film when you go see it. This movie is a victim of overhypeness. It's been overhyped. The marketing did a wonderful job with selling the movie to me without all the reviews and all the articles saying how this is the best horror movie of the decade, best horror movie of the year, etc., etc., etc. Which is unfortunate because this movie is actually quite good. It just could have been better without the expectations of everybody saying it was the best of the best of the best of horror this, horror that. With that said, this film, like I said, is directed by Osgood Perkins, who is the son of Anthony Perkins. Yes, that Anthony Perkins, who played Norman Bates in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. So clearly there's some leftover issues he's trying to deal with. This director has a clear vision. He executes it very well, meticulously, with expertise and love for the craft. It was very, very refreshing to see. Every shot, I was engaged, glued to the screen the whole time. Oz Perkins, I will definitely be closely following this director going forward. Maika Monroe gives an amazing performance as the lead character, the FBI character, Lee Harker, who is following Longlegs and trying to hunt him down. She's super smart and intuitive, and she has social awkwardness and clearly some past religious trauma with her family. So all of that put together, she brings it to life on screen quite well. And then, of course, can't talk about Longlegs without talking about Longlegs, Nicolas Cage. Some of you may know this, some of you may not, but I am a huge Nicolas Cage fan. Unironically, I think he just commits to every role he's ever given, no matter how B movie it is. He does the same here. He doesn't disappoint. He's creepy as hell. Off-putting, sadistic, Satan-worshipping serial killer. For the first half of the movie, hardly ever see the guy's face, so that makes it even creepier. I kind of wish that they kept his face hidden a little bit longer than they did, to be honest. No matter what, he makes you really uncomfortable when he's on screen, so effective. As a crime thriller with horror elements, it was a really, really good film. It was incredible. Perkins grabs you by the throat in the opening sequence and rarely lets go of that tension. Unfortunately for me, it's when the movie leans too much into their horror elements where I started to criticize it a little bit. There are jump scares. There are a handful of jump scares. Most of them, if not all of them, are auditory, just like audio blasts to your ears that kind of force you to jump. People around me were definitely jumping, so it was effective in that way. However, they were audio blasts and they were flashes of images that weren't necessarily happening in the scene, but more so maybe images of something in the person's mind or a flashback or something like that. So it's kind of a cop-out in my opinion. If I want a jump scare, there can be some audio in there for sure, but it needs to be mostly visual and mostly something that's happening in the scene. And as it nears the end of the film, and again, this is no spoilers, it's been talked about, it's been hinted at, and I won't get into it too much, but it teeters a little bit into the supernatural, which I wasn't really expecting. And I just think that it would have been better if it didn't, or if it did, keep it unclear that it is actually otherworldly things. Maybe it's not. Leave some room for doubt. That would have been a lot creepier, but instead it's definitely clear that there's some other shit going on here. I'm going to watch it again. This movie begs for a second watching because I think there are so many details that get missed the first time around where you go back, you're like, oh yeah, that. So I'm going to watch it a second time. I'm probably going to like it even more the second time, even though I liked it this time around. I'm going to like it more for sure. In the meantime, I'm giving this film a solid 7 out of 10. And if you can go see it, please go out to the theater and watch it because it's quite the experience seeing something like this with a crowd of people getting scared. That's it for now. I'm going to go watch Quiet Place Day 1 tonight so we can review it for you next week. I'm Derek. This has been Same But Different, and keep watching movies.